Flash games, the fast food of gaming. They're great for quick relief, but they're usually not meant to be played for too long. But as a kid, they were a great way to pass the time and oftentimes can be addicting. And there were many sites back then to choose from, but for this video we're going to talk about DisneyChannel.com. Now, compared to Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network's websites, this was by far the one I spent the least amount of time on. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of shows from around this time that I love, but for some reason I just didn't have nearly the same amount of enthusiasm to play the games for them, except for a few. I am strictly talking about their animated shows, however, as it's a bit of a different story for some of their live action content. So, how did the games hold up? Let's find out and see if there maybe was a reason I didn't play many of their games in the first place.
I wish they had it when I was a kid.
The Proud Family, created by Bruce W. Smith, a guy who's worked as an animation supervisor and director on various projects, as well as being the director of Bebe's Kids.
It's animation.
The Proud Family was one of my favorite shows from the channel at the time, and even now it's still pretty hilarious with its vibrant characters, unique look, and bizarre format that covers stuff ranging from the civil rights movement to a psychotic duck trying to kill everyone. So you think with a setup like that, it would make for some great games, right? Well, let's find out. Puff's Skate Jam, the true rival to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. The game follows a very basic premise of catching bones and treats along the way while dodging various obstacles. This totally rad concept would be great except for one thing: there's no music. And because of that, the game feels really empty. Would games like Jet Set Radio or Tony Hawk work as well if there wasn't any music to add to the atmosphere of them? Now granted, those games even without sound are fun to play, but still, imagine how much this game would have benefited from adding music. And if it weren't bad enough, the sound design for the game is also lacking. Just listen to it. And the game itself is just too easy to offer any real enjoyment. I'd give it a pass. I would play another game after this, like Attack of the Genomes, which is based on the Proud Family movie, where Penny and her friends and family have to stop Dr. Carver from taking over the world with his peanut army. It's a really weird movie, but that's why it's great. Anyway, if I try to play that game or any other from a site that is not DisneyChannel.com, it either endlessly loads, or it just doesn't work, period. So how am I supposed to do a video if none of the games work? Well, the games for the cartoons might have issues, but there is an anime that the games still work for to this day.
Yeah! Yeah! What's up? Go! Listen now! Here we go!
Wow, this joke totally hasn't been ran into the ground 3 years ago. Who am I to talk? I still make Nutshack references in 2018, so what do I care about integrity? But in all fairness, cartoons are animated and video games involve animation, so I think I get a free pass here. Anyway, Cory in the House is shown an anime created by Seth MacFarlane. There's your backstory. But what about the games?
I'm your man!
Cory Bobblehead Run has you running around the White House while collecting bobbleheads, cause you kinda have to, I guess. You have a time limit and obstacles to avoid, the usual kind of thing with these games. Here's how Cory walks. Here's how Cory hops. What is this, a Dr. Seuss book? Here at least there's some friggity fresh beats to bust a nut to and get down with your bad self. Also, you gotta love how the model for Cory is literally just the actor's head pasted onto a flat 2D model like it was Angela Anaconda or something. Cory, being faithful to his anime form, is also incredibly athletic and overpowered. Look at how he just effortlessly plows through everything in his way. This score's a little low. Grab some business school skills, young entrepreneur, then get back to me. Why does Mitt Romney sound like a drug dealer? For what it is, it's a somewhat amusing game to play, but only for a little while. Cory's Money Maze has you running around the White House, but this time collecting money for his piggy bank. The game itself also doesn't have any sound except for you collecting money and the occasionally really loud and obnoxious sound effect. This game sucks. 625 Sandwich Stacker, based on the character from the Lilo & Stitch franchise, has stacking some sandwiches to eat for a late night snack. However, if you collect too much junk instead of actual food, you'll get sick and lose. It's very basic and simple to play, with the difficulty increasing by going faster with each new level. I really got nothing else to say other than it seems that the animators forgot to add legs to him or something. And finally, we get A Sitch in Time, which is a 3-part game based on the Kim Possible movie of the same name. The first episode has you playing as Kim in the present. The second episode then takes place in the past where you control a younger version of Kim. And finally, the last episode takes place in the future. All 3 episodes function the same as you collect some objects while doing the same basic platforming throughout. I personally found the second stage to be the easiest, while the last one ended up being the hardest in terms of all the enemies and things to avoid. It also has some nice music that fits the mood of each level, like the daycare segment sounding relaxed and like a lullaby of some sorts. It doesn't always control very well, however, as it's not super responsive, with it oftentimes being a little slippery. And the landing detection is inconsistent sometimes for when you're trying to jump on a platform. But overall, they're a fine set of games for what they are. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. Disney Channel's games tend to be very hit and miss, especially compared to some of the other games I played on here for Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. But, like the whole point of the series, it does serve a purpose to remind me, and maybe someone else out there, about the games we played based on the shows we watched as kids.